Hello, Virgo. Welcome to your reading. All right, so I have a bay leaf here, or a piece of a bay leaf. I'm going to set the intention with this bay leaf. Um, Once we burn it, this will release anything that you're holding on to that you need to let go of, because we are right here at this new moon in Capricorn, to where we want to allow the new things that are meant for us to come in. So I just wanted to do this little release. This is something that you can do for yourself at home. You can find whole bay leaves at the store, and you can even get specific where you write with a pen on the bay leaf what you're releasing. This is kind of a broken one. I have whole ones where you can really, write what you need on the bay leaf and then burn it or bury it. This is a reading for Virgo, Sun, Moon, or Rising. This is your reading for the month of December. All right, so let's go ahead and release what we no longer need for the sign of Virgo. All right, so I'm going to be pulling your tarot spread in fast forward. So you'll just see me pulling out the cards. Once I bring it back to normal speed, that's when we'll go over the cards, and then we'll clarify with another deck. I'll also be pulling a rune and a charm. So doing some rune casting and charm casting here, just to add another layer to the reading. All right, so I'm going to set these over here. Let's get started. Okay, Virgo. So here we have the rune for partnership, healing, commitment. For some of you, I guess it could represent that partnership. For some of you, it can represent your commitment to something, and others, it can represent healing your trust. We have the Hangman in reverse, or I'm sorry, the Hangman. Looks like it's the Hangman. So there could be a pause, kind of where things aren't moving. But let's go ahead and get into your cards. So the heart of your reading, you're coming out as the Knight of Wands. So you're coming out for what you're passionate about. In the past, you may have been a bit of a rebel, I guess you would say, coming in with the energy of the Knight of Swords in reverse. So being a little bit reckless, impulsive, hot-headed, and that would be how you would appear. I think you realized, if I'm coming in that way, I look immature. This is all about getting a new perspective on things. So instead of coming from immaturity, I think you've having this new perspective that's giving you this clarity and this aha moment. The Page of Swords, the page is the one who grabs the Ace of Swords. So you not only saw and had the aha moment, but you've grabbed the sword. So this means that it's going to affect your life and it will be a change. Sometimes we get an Ace of Swords or whatever the ace is, wands, cups, and we don't even see it. It's like a missed opportunity because we are in a negative frame of mind, so to speak. Speaking of, here in the very center of the reading, we do have ourselves in a bit of imprisonment where we are feeling like we can't do something. That is like a self-imposed imprisonment where we are in our heads too much about something, really analyzing it. And there is this heavy burden here that is being carried, and it might relate to the trust issues. Maybe that's why you're in your head, or the partnership, or the lack or thereof commitment. There's been some imbalance, a conflict here with the Five of Wands. And that Knight of Swords, he can be very, negative when he's negatively aspected in reverse. That can be a bit stern, a sharp tongue, I guess you would say. And I feel like there was an argument or a fight. However, it's over here, it's like there is clarity that you have grabbed, yet you are still kind of analyzing the situation because there is still a burden going on with this partnership, commitment, trust situation that's going on. So you're doing, with the Hangman, that's a self-sacrificing energy. So with this coming out in your reading underneath the deck, underneath everything, you in the moment are being self-sacrificing, and in a good, positive, like this is no longer. You are in a positive, you're trying to look at the positive. You're trying to find out what you have passion for, things like that. And then this being the 10 of this burden, this means that this will be coming to an end soon. And then we jump over here, which is huge. We've got 4 of the 5 cards that came out are major arcana. Actually, all the major arcana, aside from the one under the deck, are all at the bottom of your reading. We have the Sun, the World, the Devil, the 2 of Pentacles, and the Fool. These 3 came out grouped together, so I will read them as such. We have the Sun, so that is bringing more illumination. That is bringing more clarity. And then we have the World, where here's the laurel wreath. We are completing or graduating from a cycle. We have completed it probably because we've taken that moment to get another perspective. So things are a lot more, I think you finally, by this point, you've dropped this heavy burden. You have more clarity, realizing what's going to bring you happiness. And then here we have almost like 2 different outcomes of when we complete the world. This is when we start over. So the Fool's journey goes from 0 all the way to 21. So there's 22 major arcana cards, and we go through all of them to complete that cycle. And then we start over with the Fool, but on a higher level matrix, I guess you would say. So in completing that world, you either start over on the same one or you clear this karma. So we have the devil, and then we have this where we're kind of juggling which is it going to be. You have to set one thing down so you get a new. We need to complete this cycle so we can invite in the new. Um, Basically, we need to finish this out. It's time to, a lot of this is going on right now where people are clearing this karma, like a long cycle that could have been very, you look at these cards and there's kind of, you can see the imbalance, the this doesn't look very fun. This doesn't look very fun. This doesn't look very fun. This is negative aspected. So we've got these two here where you've changed the way you're going to approach things. You're trying to go in with things that bring you passion. You're grabbing this new way of thinking and this clarity, and you're just working out these few kinks. This is getting ready to drop. So you take the blindfold off, obviously, because now we have clarity on everything. The sun is the happiest card in the deck. It's going to illuminate everything and raise the vibration of the entire reading. If the sun is in the spread, it's going to actually make all the surrounding cards a lot lighter and less gloom, I guess you would say. So then we have the world, which is success and completion, like that graduation of this journey. So I think I want to clarify. I'm trying to see here. We have the squirrel, and I think you'd think of the squirrel as someone who is collecting collecting the nuts, collecting the acorns, storing and um, storing for a rainy day, storing for winter. Sorry, I was looking for something. I forgot to say at the beginning of the reading, there is a bit of a video game um, extravaganza going on in the other room. So if you hear explosions or things of that nature, it's just video game sounds. Um, Now, if we look at the squirrel, um, as more as the rodent or the mouse family, then this could be read as Lenormand the mouse, the Lenormand mouse, the Lenormand cards, as a nuisance. Um, when you get the mice, that is going to shed light on complications that are going on, annoyances. Mice can cause problems. They steal things. They bring decay and waste. It can have this stress energy to it. It's going to bring stress. And it also can bring mistrust. So I feel like by pulling this with this, that is how I'm wanting to read it. As far as this reading goes with the cards that we have, there is some kind of problem, mistrust, decay going on in a partnership, and it's being represented here in the cards, which is causing a bit of strife, a bit of, oh my gosh, I can't do this heavy, but it's a responsibility. There's this heavy burden here. But there is um, a truth that comes out, or clarity on something, to where, when we get the Ace of Swords, um, that can talk about a truth, clarity, an aha moment, something to that effect. The Page is the one who grabs that ace, um, if it is seen, and takes it. So I want, don't shoot the messenger. I want to read the reading as I'm seeing it. Um, there is been some petty fights and immaturity going on, and this could represent the two of you. I like the readings just to be about the person that I'm reading for. However, there is kind of two. One person's down, one person's up. One's, they're in their logical mind, but being a bit harsh or ruthless, and the other person, is just trying to go after what they love, so to speak. Um, However, it can just represent how you were and how you are trying to be now. Um, but grabbing this clarity or this truth that has created this, maybe this mistrust. Sometimes it's like, I don't want to know the truth feeling. And that's where we get this, now I'm blindfolded and I'm self-imprisoned myself. And how do I get it? I can't, like, how am I going to do this? How do I face every day knowing what I know now? How do I get myself out of this situation? Whatever it is. I feel like things already were not going great, but they were nothing compared to kind of this level. This is just, a bit of conflict, and we're petty fighting. This is a little more heavy, where I'm feeling trapped. I don't know how I'm going to get myself out of it. This is a heavy burden. I have responsibilities here, and there is some mistrust going on. But then we go to this level, and it's like even more clarity, some warm, how the sun makes you feel, that warm comfort has come over, where this will be able to complete this cycle. So maybe with the sun coming out, this brings more clarity. Like, maybe it wasn't as bad as you thought. Maybe there was miscommunication. The Knight of Swords is the fastest moving knight out of all the knights. With him being negatively aspected, this is somebody who's going to rush in without thinking. Just, I'm coming for you. So there could be quite a bit of impulsiveness with that, where I think I know the truth and I'm going to come in and say what I want to say, and creates this big thing. So the sun could have come out, as far as whatever that mistrust was, to straighten things out. Maybe when all the cards are on the table and you can see clear from the sun, that sets that whole thing to rest. That completes that. That wasn't how you thought it was going. I did see the Wounded Warrior when I was pulling out the cards, so possibly you have mistrust or trust issues from previous stuff, so you kind of went there in your head, and thought, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm in this again, I can't do this, and this heavy burden that you need to drop is actually that past mindset of everyone's going to hurt me, I can't trust anyone type of feeling. And that would be that shadow side, that devil that you need to shed. So it's all a matter of, are you going to stay and keep repeating, Have you ever been in a relationship where you get into, it's like, why do I keep drawing the same kind of person, and why do I keep attracting the same kind of friends? Like everybody ends up the same way and they keep hurting me the same. And that's this, that's your devil. That's that karmic cycle that's going to keep going and keep going until you have this moment and then you grabbed it. So that's why I feel like you're going to put down that, you're going to clear that cycle, and you get to start all over on a completely different level. So let's clarify. Wow, that was quite a bit to go into with. I haven't even clarified yet. Oh my goodness. All right. All right, I'm going to kind of clarify the first row. I think I'm going to, instead of just going card to card, I'm going to clarify the first row, second row, and then the third row. Whoa. The World and Judgment. Oh my gosh, you got to be kidding me. This is almost like it's clarifying the whole reading. And then that Queen of Wands energy. So the Wands energy is under the deck here. The Queen would be your feminine side. I hope that's not having a bunch of glare. So the Queen of Wands, or the Queens represent our feminine side. They are about how we perceive the world around us, and the Kings are the way we kind of deal with things in the 3D concrete world. So this is more of your inside, how you perceive the world around you, your intuition, all of that. So we have the World and Judgment. We already have the World here. Judgment is when the parts of us that we've kind of lost, they've drowned in the waters, I guess you would say. And Judgment, the angel, blows the horn, and all of those parts of us that we've kind of forgotten about and that have been jaded and all of that come rising to the surface, where they're getting healed and we get to start over again. It's a rebirth. So there is definitely a chapter closing out where you get healing and almost like a second shot, a second chance, but from who you used to be before everything was jaded, what am I saying? The Six of Cups has the child on there for a reason, that's about childhood nostalgia and all of that. But it's also being the Six of Cups, that is the balanced cups is our emotions. So that's balanced emotions. That's an open heart chakra. And with that child on there, you tell a child, I love you, they're like, okay. You tell an adult you love them, they might think, why do you love me? Or, you kind of question it and you don't believe it, or, we have all this stuff where we've been hurt and, these mistrust things that are happening. So this is healing and bringing that back to life, where you get a new chance to clear out the mistrust from your past. And it's like, obviously this partnership is salvageable because there really is a misunderstanding instead of mistrust, and we get a new start at this to do it right. Also, this could be talking about here too, if you were coming in as the King of Swords or the Knight of Swords in reverse, and then switched over to the Knight of Wands in the upright, realizing I don't want to screw this up. You know, if I keep doing this where I'm accusing somebody of something they're not doing or whatever, I might lose them. And so it's almost like that, completing that cycle. I'm going to do away with how I used to do things, and I'm healing. So that could be what changed your the way you're coming in at things, because you were perceiving that I need to come in, you know, she's the Queen of Wands, you're coming in as a Wands, you know, you're perceiving, you know, that you're very passionate about this partnership, you know. Let's go ahead and clarify the second row here. The Death card. All right, so by grabbing the sword, it was death to the way you saw and thought before. However, we also have to get ourselves out of this I can't mentality or over analyzing things. You know, like when you're not really sure what's going on, but you have these mistrust issues, we can fill in the blank ourselves, where it's like, you know, do I need to look through his phone, or what's going on, or did this go on, or when you, it's like when you don't know, you can fill it in so much worse than it actually is. And then we have where you get to drop this heavy burden. So that's completing that. You're at the end there because it's a 10. So this, whatever this heavy burden is that is bringing you in this analysis paralysis, that is clearing out with the Death card. Oh, and there's the Five of Wands. So the Five of Wands causes that conflict and that strife. It's almost like these should have been switched as far as the cards that are kind of coming out to clarify. So this could be representing its death to the conflict, death to the immaturity. That Five of Wands energy, that's definitely something that you would want to have that close out and complete with the Death card. So that could be how you're able to, that's the heavy burden that you're carrying, is whatever this immaturity, the conflict that it's bringing. I'm so in my head, but I can see. So I almost feel like, you know, in the beginning I was saying the Page of Swords could be a truth that came out that you saw. But I think this is actually that spark of, I'm realizing it's the very beginning, the baby, you know, like you have this Ace of Sword that come out, and it's kind of like, here's some clarity, and I'm the page and I'm just grabbing it. I'm not the queen, I'm not the knight, I'm not the queen, I'm not, you know, you were seeing it wrong here with the knight in reverse, but you're only the page here. So it's the very start of you realizing, holy crap, I need to cut this out. I'm mistrusting somebody that doesn't deserve to be mistrusting, I guess is what I'm saying. And so then you start going into, okay, I'm not going to be immature. I'm going to grow from this, and I'm going to have a second chance at this. I'm going to drop this. It's a heavy burden to me. You know, how am I ever going to be happy if I'm constantly thinking everyone's doing me wrong, that sort of thing. All right, so let's go ahead and clarify this row. Let's see what's under the deck. All right, so this defensive energy is under the deck. Feeling like you need to fight or defend yourself all the time. You know, like, well, I feel I deserve to feel like this because of my past. You know, that's what everybody's done. You know, it's like this constant, I'm on the defensive. So here we are with wands again. You are in your, okay, I want to be passionate about life again. I want to have that spark again. So now we're, not only did we grab an ace of sword with the page, we also have an ace of wands coming out in your new cycle. So you will be bringing that passion and that spark of life back by completing this. But this is the best card that you could have for this kind of reading. So this is the Nine of Pentacles. She is emotionally and financially independent. She doesn't rely on anybody else to take care of her, to make her happy. She is abundant and just solid. Just, she has that confidence, and it's kind of the opposite energy of the previous, where it's like feeling that insecurity and the mistrust and that you're going to be mistreated and all of that. She doesn't have that feeling. She knows even if something happens, she'll be okay. But she is content and happy to be completely by herself. She doesn't rely on anybody else, emotionally or financially. So this will be that is a, wow. To go from clearing the past wounds of trust onto that, we have the Sun, the World, an Ace of Swords, the Fool, and then the Nine of Pentacles. You're not going to feel like it's you against the world anymore. And look under there, the Wheel of Fortune. So here's the Sphinx that is on top of the Wheel of Fortune. And when we get stuck in these long cycles, he is asking a riddle, and he'll ask the same riddle until you can answer that riddle. And you've just answered this riddle. And now the world, or the wheel, starts turning for you. Look at the Ace of Pentacles underneath that. And your life is moving to calmer waters. You've answered the riddle. You're clearing your karma. And you get to go on to a much better future. Wow, that's beautiful. It's like this, have his head is enlightened here. You're pausing for that enlightenment. And it's interesting, underneath this is this feeling of loneliness, lack. This is it's another five, the Five of Pentacles, feeling alone even when people are around, feeling out in the cold, feeling abandoned. I feel like you've been mistreated and abandoned, and you have the trust issues, but you're realizing you don't want to take it into your future. This is a big month for a lot of the signs here for December. Big month. It's very beautiful. So I guess to kind of recap, there is going to be an end of how we approach life. Instead of seeing things from a negative perspective, we are kind of having our old self before it got hurt rise up, and choose to walk away from the immaturity. We want to find passion and spark of life again. And we're grabbing onto that thought and that idea, because always analyzing and filling in the blanks and all of that with this is exhausting. It's a heavy burden that we no longer want to carry. So this is completing. This 10 completes that. The death card completes that. That's done. So then we open right up to the sun of this clarity and realizing that we don't need someone else, to determine our worth. We don't need we don't need to rely on anyone to make ourselves happy. We've answered the riddle and cleared the karma, and we've put down, we're not juggling anymore of this kind of in between world where we're going to grab, you put down something, then your hand is open for a new. And then we start over in our new rebirthed, so to speak, story. But we've graduated this level and don't have to repeat this anymore. And what we are doing is we're going to be we're going for what brings us happiness and passion and excitement, inspiration, what inspires us. But we're solid. We're no longer defensive. Look how peaceful and content she is. Very, very beautiful reading. I'm sure there'll be slip-ups here and there, but a life of mistrust is exhausting. And if you can clear that, it'll be all of this. This is just incredible. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and close this out. Thank you so very much for joining me, and I will catch you in the next one.